I also recognize the presence of the consultant, BKE, as well as the contractor, Zhongmei, and very important people, the members of the media. So what we are here for, it's not a groundbreaking ceremony, but rather a site handover to the contractor to start with the construction of the final phase between Windhoek and Hosea Kutako International Airport. This section commences at Dolabis interchange and continues in the easterly direction up to Hosea Kutako International Airport, covering a distance of about 21 kilometers. In short, the scope of the works of Phase 2B includes the construction of about 21 kilometers of the freeway, 3 interchanges, and 2 river bridges and drainage structures. 450 million, which is approximately 1 billion in Namibian dollar. The contractor of this phase is Zhongmei Engineering Group. It's a fully registered Chinese company in Namibia and was appointed through a successful contract process after a very, very tight procurement process, which was headed by the Chinese embassy and the Chinese Project Management Enterprise, CPM, in consultation with the Roads Authority and the Minister of Works and Transport. We anticipate to recruit between 270 to 300 employees on this project, of which a majority of those will be Namibians. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to use this opportunity to sincerely thank the People's Republic of China for their continuous support, and also, very importantly, in availing this grant. I can assure you that this will go a long way in uplifting the living standard of the Namibian nation.
The CEO of the Road Authority, Mr. Correct Lutombi. My name is Hong Tao Huang, the contract project manager and representative of Zhongmei Engineering Group Limited on this project. The project is a grant from China government through China Aid, and we are honored to be the appointed contractor for this project. The project will be 21.3 kilos of dual carriageway to be constructed from Dolabis interchange to Hosea Kutako International Airport in a period of 3 years. Zhongmei Engineering Group Limited is an international civil engineering and construction company registered in Namibia with specialization in road and bridge construction, water infrastructure, and building services. Zhongmei is committed to providing the best possible construction expertise, techniques, and services to ensure on-time delivery, quality, and a successful project. Furthermore, this project will be an opportunity to employ locals, both unskilled and skilled, provide training and skill transfer, and engage local contractors and suppliers for goods and services. We therefore are excited and looking forward to working with the project teams.
Welcome back to Africa. Good morning. It's time for us to get straight into your economic news stories. In your first story, Vodacom adds 6.2 million customers across the group. Vodacom revealed in its latest results published on Monday that it added 6.2 million customers during the half year ending 30 September 2021. This is for the group's entire operations across Africa, including Safaricom on a 100% basis. The increase takes Vodacom's combined customer base to 129.9 million and within striking distance of the 130 million milestone, which is likely to be surpassed during the current financial year. In the current financial year, we will invest more than 10.5 billion rand into our world-class network, in addition to the 47 billion rand we spent over the past 5 years alone. This is particularly relevant at a time when many of our customers continued to work, entertain, and educate from home. Looking ahead, we are focused on the development of our diverse service offerings and M&A deal completion as we continue our exciting evolution from telco to techco, said Vodacom.
South Africa's health system is on its knees. The budget offers no relief. Given the toll COVID has had on the country's socio-economic life, including health, there were high expectations that Enoch Godongwana and the Minister of Finance would signal in the medium-term budget policy statement how government planned to mitigate the impact of COVID on the health system. Indeed, government has invested heavily in mitigating the COVID-related risk. Examples include the introduction of a social distress grant, reduced interest rates, and tax incentives to businesses most affected by the lockdown. The investment in vaccine procurement has also been significant.
All right, that brings us to the end of our economic news stories. Up next, economic indicators. Welcome back to Africa. Good morning. It's time for your sports news updates, and we start off in the world of football. World Cup 2022, Ghana and DR Congo reach African playoffs. Ghana scraped through to the African World Cup playoffs when beating South Africa 1-0 in Cape Coast to leapfrog their opponents at the top of Group G. Andre Ayew, a mainstay of Ghana's World Cup displays, fittingly scored the vital match winner after 33 minutes as Bafana Bafana suffered their first loss in the group at the worst time. Both Ghana and South Africa won 13 points in the group, and after ending with the same goal difference, the Black Stars edged through courtesy of having scored one goal more than Bafana Bafana in the group. Africa's 5 World Cup representatives at Qatar 2022 will be decided when the two-legged playoffs take place in March.
Federer unlikely to play at 2022 Australian Open. Roger Federer is unlikely to play in the next year's Australian Open, but is still determined to make a return to the tournament tennis at some stage, according to his coach Ian Lubitschik. On the 20-time Grand Slam, the champion has been inactive since losing in the Wimbledon quarterfinals in July and undergoing another round of knee surgery. Asked whether Federer would be back in action for the first major of the year in January, former world number 3 Lubitschik said the signs were not promising. I think there are very few chances. He is still recovering, and knowing him, he wants to be sure he can play to win the tournament and to be at the 100%, the Croatian told Stats Perform.
Now in rugby news, Eddie's revenge, the next obstacle for Boks. Jones has never been one to shy away from a challenge, and he will still be hurting from the comprehensive 2019 World Cup final loss to the Boks, and will be very keen to avenge that in some way or another. It's the final game, and we want to go into the Six Nations with a South African scalp, said Jones. It doesn't get clearer than that. How the Boks will play will never be a surprise. Stopping it is another thing. England will pose a very different challenge to the Boks and will be banking on Marcus Smith to inspire them to greater heights. If the Boks can get a victory at Twickenham, it will also underline how much they have grown in a year of bio-bubbles and untold challenges, and how they will relish finishing the year off with the #1 spot in the world rankings. All in all, it is a week of opportunity, one where their old foe will seek revenge in their own backyard in front of 80,000 fans.
Rossi already regrets retirement after special weekend. Motorcycling legend Valentino Rossi, who completed his final MotoGP after 26 years in saddle on Sunday, thinks retirement will be difficult, especially in March when the season starts again. The 42-year-old Rossi, a 9-time world champion across all categories, finished 10th on his Yamaha in his final outing in Valencia, which was his 432nd GP since starting his career back in 1996. Rossi's initial and number VR46 were flying everywhere at the Ricardo Tormo circuit as MotoGP gave arguably its greatest exponent a delirious send-off. It was really a special weekend, said Rossi, who won 7 premier titles, 500cc and MotoGP, as well as the 125cc and 250cc world crowns.
The doctor is already missing his shifts. In the last of our sports stories, I could have won Tokyo Olympics 100 meters, says Usain Bolt. Sprinting legend Usain Bolt said he could have emerged from retirement to win a 4th straight Olympic 100-meter title in Tokyo this year, insisting the winning time was within his reach. The 35-year-old told AFP that it was frustrating to watch the delayed 2020 games from his home in Jamaica as his male countrymen flopped and Italy's Lamont Jacobs claimed a shock victory. Now, the first Olympic 100-meter final since the great showman's departure was a subdued affair. My coach said something to me at the end of my career. He said, people are not getting faster. I was getting slower. I had never looked at it that way, said Bolt. And it's the fact, because a lot of guys don't really get faster, because I have pushed the barrier so far and then I started going backwards time-wise. So for me, 9.80 was possible to get done. Yo, imagine being that good, guys. You're not getting better. I'm just getting worse.
Wow.
Ooh, all right, those have been
Sure.
our sports stories. After the break, your headlines. Africa Good Morning has been streaming live from 7 a.m. And if you perhaps missed our top stories at the top of the hour, or if you need a recap, worry not, here are some of the headlines. COP26 closes with compromise deal on climate, but it's not enough, says UN chief. Protesters face tear gas and bullets to oppose Sudan coup. US blacklists Eritrean military over conflict in Ethiopia. Tigrayan forces say they will hunt down foreign mercenaries. Vodacom adds 6.2 million customers across the group. And in sports, World Cup 2022, Ghana and DR Congo reach African playoffs. Those have been our stories.
We thank you very much for joining us on this edition of Africa Good Morning. Please remember to visit our website. It's called OneUp2. There you can catch all of NMH's live shows. We do welcome your remarks regarding our show. You can email them to us. Our email is agm_2centsworth@nmh.com.na. Alternatively, you can post those comments on our Twitter and Facebook pages. That's at Africa Good Morning. Do get vaccinated, wear your mask, and avoid unnecessary public gatherings. We are still in the middle of a pandemic.
All right. Until tomorrow, Swera Jakanaka.